Hi Monster Hunters. Today I thought we would do something a little bit different. Today we're going to be working on some map building. I'm going to be working on building a map for a campaign that I plan on doing called the Cracked Realm. My campaigns tend to be more sandboxy, so it's important that I develop a world that's fully ready to be interacted with. And I'm actually going to be building upon some maps that I haven't made in the past. The reason why I'm redoing it because this new campaign is going to take some time in the future. So everything has changed, and it does allow me to kind of integrate some new things into my campaign while still building on the lore that I've done for other campaigns. Every campaign I do takes place in the same universe, so that allows my players to kind of have some idea what the history of my campaign is like. So they already have, going into the game, a little bit of knowledge of the lore that is within the game. So I have the old map over here, and we're going to be working on this continent right here. This continent is called Cornucopia. And as I zoom out, it lags the computer a whole lot. But I like using Worldographer because it lets you do children maps. So this is the continent view. So we can actually see that there's a few hexagons within the hexagons. So each hexagon is about 4 wide, and each one of those small hexagons is about 6 miles across. So the reason I do it like that is because 4 times 6 is 24, and that's about how long it takes for a player for a party to travel one day. 24 miles, they can usually travel 24 miles in a day. So that makes it real easy. Each big hex is 1 day of travel. So you can see this is kind of a small continent that I usually have my players start on, with a few key features. Alright, and we got some big lakes right here. And over here we have the wasteland. The wasteland is from a calamity in the past where the ley lines, which give the world's magics, were stolen from this place, leaving it dead. Nothing can really exist there except for the undead, because the undead run on magic and they don't need any connection to the positive energy plane. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this up a bit. So one of the main key features, and we're going to use this to kind of measure how big it is the galvanic ranges here. This big line of light, a big mountain range dividing the wastelands with the actual livable part of Cornucopia. And it extends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Goes down 18. 18 big hexes. So we're going to move over here. It's more in the middle, so we're going to start here. We're going to go to my favorites because I use the mountains a lot because I can use them for battle maps as well. And we're going to go across 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright. So that's a great start to it. We go through and we can see that it has plains mostly here and the wasteland mostly here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright. So we're going to take terrain. We're going to go back to classic, and we're going to get the wastelands. The ones without, there we go. Well, that's the Underdark. I do like using the Underdark there, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I totally forgot the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, nice. We got it. And then it flips back every time. Go back to classic. And then what does it look like? Kind of goes straight down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So we go through here, and then just like that. Now, cool thing here is we have a paint bucket to just fill up. Now, the cool, important thing here is if you have any, well, it's not going to matter as much because this is not a battle map. The battle map does have issues with the fill key, and you want to make sure you uncheck that because I have had issues where I filled in things I did not want to fill in. Alright, next we're going to pull the grasslands and fill it in here. So we're going to go not so exact because we do want this to be a little bit changed compared to what it used to be. There. And then go up and fill. There we go. We got the grasslands there. So we get like a little kind of heart style thing. And we can actually, we want to go through and we want to make sure we get the lake in here because one of the Lake of Songs is one of the big key parts of the map in Cornucopia. The Lake of Songs is known because of all the alps that go there. The alps creatures have a like babbling that goes on that they just emit constantly. So that's what the song is there. It's not quite a song. But alps are creatures who died. Whoops. See? That's what happens when you forget to turn off the paint bucket. Alps are undead that are created when someone kills themselves. So the Lake of Songs is somewhere where people have often drowned themselves from sorrow. So it's a high activity for undead. Because there's so many undead there, it's also a place where there's a lot of magic. Alright, so we're going to go through and we're going to save just so that nothing bad happens. And then next, we're actually going to click onto continents. And we're going to set it on 4 because I do like having 4 because it makes counting travel very easy. And then we're going to click OK. Now it does something really cool here. So it zooms in and it brings in this. It also adds a little bit of randomization. Whoops. We're going to zoom out so that it kind of looks, whoops, more random. And there's places that obviously we gotta change. So we gotta make sure that we get this filled in. And we're gonna add just a little bit of different things because it's good to have a little bit of variety. So we go there. Now the Lake of Songs is surrounded by, well, has hills up top. And people are able to look down the hills. It actually makes it a little bit difficult to get in. But the hills are there because it kind of created like this bowl. So let's find some hills. Here we go. Hills grassy. We're gonna cool. So we got some hills there. And we're also going to add some beach. Add some beach just right here. And then we want to add perhaps some cliffs on this side. because it is in a bowl. The best way to approach it is actually from the north side. Really forces the players to kind of look for the best place to go, hop in. So, and then we're going to take a little bit more beach, and this is going to be a little beach alcove right there. Alright, now the other cool thing about this is we have not just terrain, but we have features. Now, the Lake of Songs is a place for one-white dragons. You always kind of want to choose a realm for your dragons. And a dragon has a realm of about 40 miles. So that's like about 2 squares. So this is like a perfect place for it to be. If it's right here, it controls this whole area. So we're going to go and we're going to find creature. We're going to take this and we're going to put it here. Alright, that way we can remember that we have a dragon there. That dragon's name is Click Savi. And we're going to pop open this. Here we go. We can see my notes. One of the main NPCs is Clicks Savi. You want to kind of work on regular naming conventions. So for me, dragons always, their names always come in 3 syllables, and they're always hyphenated. With the first first part of the name is 1 syllable. The second part is, okay, that's not true. The second part of the name is always 2 syllables. The first one can be 2 or 1 syllables. There's Click Savi, and then there's also Skari Skirza. Skari Skirza. Lots of S's, lots of C sounds, X's, and sometimes Z's. Now let's go put where Skari Skirza lives on the map. Alright? Skari Skirza lives up here. Now we don't want to put them within the 40 miles. So this is all Click Savi's domain. Skari Skirza is up here actually. And Skari Skirza is a black dragon. She has a fraction of kobolds. And she's actually sculpted the land to her wanting. She goes through and she like destroyed all of this and made it inhabitable for most creatures. She actually even destroyed some of the mountains. Not that far though, because she also can't go into the, what's it called, the Badlands, because she is a living creature. But she has warped this land. Now let's take a moment. We're gonna file. We're gonna save. Now, as we're editing this, I want to go through and I want to see what it looks like if we take a look at the world. So now we can see there's a little bit of Badlands here. We have some mountains here, and we have some marks there. So then we go back to continent view, and we can see, yeah, there's not really any changes. That's good. All right. Now, we're also going to put some cliffs here, because this is a trading port. Some cliffs there, and we're also going to move into some coastal because there is a port there. So we're going to move up here, and this is Port Sire. features, we're going to put, I guess, classic. And then there is a anchor here for like port towns. So we're gonna put that here. Perfect. And there's obviously going to be a lighthouse. So let's find that lighthouse. And the lighthouse is also going to be right here and right there. It's a big town. It's called Port Said. And this is where most of the people up north kind of exist. So let's go back to our notes. We're going to write down places. So I have main factions here. So we're going to put heading to locations, and then here Port Said. Alright, so we're slowly building it together. What other important things are we missing? So if you go back here, there's a few different things that I'm missing. So volcanoes, obviously, and we have the magical forest down here. So we're going to put that enchanted forest up. It's deep forest, so we're going to go through and go to classic, let's slide down, mixed heavy forest, and it actually takes up a big amount of space. So we're going to go through here and we're going to move it in here. Click, click. Boom. And then we're going to take our paint bucket and we're going to fill it in. Perfect. Alright, now the enchanted forest, it's actually something I didn't get to use that much in the campaign I designed it for. So it's actually a place where there is a ton of negative energy. There is a ley line here, but the ley line connects it to a dangerous planet. It actually connects it to the boneyard. The boneyard is basically like purgatory. People who are familiar with Pathfinder are, we don't want to, hold on, no paint bucket. The boneyard is kind of like negative energy. There's a lot of death in the boneyard. So we actually are going to put this here, and then we're going to use our paint bucket and we're going to fill it up. Very good. And then we're going to show that there is a ley line here. So we have to choose something to be ley lines. So we're going to go to features. Now we got these dots, and we can use these dots for all sorts of things. We can use the compass. We want something very visible. It's always going to be very visible. So we could do this. I like that one. It's not super visible, but as we zoom in, pretty visible, right? Other things that we can do, something like this, even something like this. But I like to use these for whirlpools, so I think we're going to use this, the little nebula, as ley lines. This is also a place where there is some mining being done. There are some minerals that we can get, so we actually do have something for that. I'm going to drop it in right there, and we're also going to throw in that skull and crossbones. No, we're not going to throw in the skull and crossbones, but we do want to throw in the fact that there is a dungeon here, and there's several caves actually. So we're going to zoom out, because it's actually better. There's a huge cave system connecting it, and it's actually better to go underneath the forest instead of through the forest. because there's tons of undead creatures kind of just spawning in the above world, which is why it's so dangerous. Now let's zoom over to this area. Now there is a very important thing. So we can actually see that we made the Lake of Songs quite a bit bigger. That's okay. It's filled up with more water, and the ground is kind of risen. So it's already kind of creating a story about what has changed in this world when you put the two maps together. And that's kind of what we want to aim for. We want to aim for changing the world. All right. And having a story with it. Now we have a good place right here where we can add some more terrain. We're going to add classic. And we're going to go to more mountains. And we're going to just roll it out just a little bit, because in here is a capital. And the capital is, it's going to be right here, where it's nice and safe. We're actually going to put some farmland right here to show that it is kind of very fertile, and it's like a good safety spot. This is the capital of Cornucopia. It's called Mistletoe, and we're going to go through and we're going to find a feature. We're going to find something to put down. Now, Mistletoe used to be a meritocracy until like the Fae kind of started meddling, and the Fae wanted power as the dragons woke up. So we're going to go through and we're going to start build a palace here, right here. And one of the important parts about Mistletoe is they are directly connected to a mithril mine. So we're going to put a thing right there, and we're going to go back to our notes and we're going to write down Mistletoe. Whoops. Mistletoe. We also want to put down the bone yard ley line in the decayed forest. The enchanted forest is somewhere else, actually. Very close. It's one of the protecting barriers from Mistletoe. Enchanted forest. I should have been writing all of this down as I was talking to you. And Lake of Songs. Now, we can actually go through and we can write down the different numbers of each of these things. Oh, and then Wastelands of Skirza. If I could spell to save my life. There we go. We're going to close this down. Alright. So now we have an opportunity to put a very dense forest. One. So the enchanted forest is actually pretty dangerous, and it's kind of blocks off this whole area of travel. Now the enchanted forest, what makes it so dangerous is entering it. You actually enter into a maze spell. No saving throw, because you're willfully entering it. For anyone who doesn't know, if you can let down resistances to let things affect you, kind of like cure spells. There is a will save to cure light wounds and any other cure spell, but it's assumed that the players let their guard down, basically, so that the spell can affect them. So by entering the forest, you actually let it down. And we're going to put down some of these things. So basically the way I do it is every 4 hours you're allowed to make an intelligence save to get through. Same way you would roll a random encounter. So you roll your intelligence save, and you also roll a random encounter to see where you get through. And basically, if you make your intelligence save, you travel through basically 3 squares or 2 squares, because remember, it takes 1 full day to travel a full square, and each hex is 1 day, so 4 hours is half a day's travel. So a will save, or no, intelligence save to get out of the maze. So if you go straight through from here to here, you would need one, two, three, about 3 intelligence saves of 17 or higher to actually get through, which is why it's such a dangerous place to go through, and why most people actually will instead go around. Alright, next thing I want to throw in, we're actually going to delete the little dudes. We'll leave one in because we can have a little mystery of a super powerful monster that lives within it. Some minotaur, half dragon minotaur, or like a half green dragon minotaur, or an undead minotaur, or some sort of minotaur that's able to navigate through pretty well. And we want to leave little marks on our map that let us know about that. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I actually want to extend out. We're going to put down some desert just right here, and the desert will extend into some marsh just like this, and we're going to take these cliffs, and they're going to turn into mountains, and they're going to go all the way around. And this is where the Dromagocracy resides. The Dromagocracy. So, elves are pretty rare in my campaign world. The reason for that is they're not very reproductive. And in my campaign, everyone ages the same. Because of a calamity. 2 dragons, Skari, Skirza, and Klixavi, they basically, in order to kind of relieve racial tensions between the different humanoids, they basically made everyone age the same way. And that worked in a lot of ways. Like, because the orcs can now live longer, they can develop their time to actually develop skills instead of having to raid before in their short lives. Goblins, same thing. They're still very wary about reading books, but they kind of live just as long as humans, so they're able to do all sorts of things. I'm going to plug a video that I'm going to do later. I'm going to talk about what kind of society norms are for the races in my homebrew campaign world. That's good coffee. So we have the Dromagocracy, and we also have, I'm going to put this wizard tower here, because there is a wizard tower over in the swamp, right here. It's actually a little bit farther, so we're going to Control Z that, and we're going to put it right here. There's a wizard tower there. And it's there to kind of watch the Wendigo, make sure that the Wendigo doesn't escape and start wreaking havoc. Because if you look in Pathfinder, the Wendigo is a CR 17 creature. I only have one, but the Wendigo can spread its disease and have little minions going around, pushing people to cannibalize each other. But this wizard is there to keep the Wendigo under control. So let's go back and write down the things that we've come up with. Alright, and things have kind of gotten squished. Maybe it's because I made this bigger. Maybe it's because I made that bigger. Let's zoom out just a little bit. It's also because this kind of shrunk. So we're going to go through back to terrain, and we're going to add a new terrain. We're going to add some big old cliffs just right here. Now the reason I'm going to add cliffs is actually because I want this corner to be desert. I want it to be very dry, and you'll actually find that deserts kind of form around on the other side of mountains, especially close to the ocean, because those mountains keep the land from coming in. So we're gonna just go like this. Oof, I'm too zoomed out. And then we're actually, you know what? No, I have a better idea. We're gonna make a little pool on the inside here. We're gonna put seawater actually. Because this is going to add like a new feature to explore. This is new, unexplored, and other Badlands. That's a new one. We're going to take the paint bucket and fill it in, boop, and now we have to figure out some desert cactus. We're going to put that in there. Bum-ba-da-dum. Fantastic. So now we have a new area. I don't know what this is going to be, but it's a peninsula. Now there is a very special town that I want to put down, and it's going to be called Roundabout. Roundabout is actually going to be up there-ish. The ground is shifting. It's kind of moved it closer to Mistletoe. And Roundabout is usually like the place where I put level 1 characters when they're not used to my campaign world. So we're going to put down Roundabout. And then there is a place that's extra important. The Sky Castle Ruins. Now Sky Castle Ruins, we're actually going to put it half in the water. So Sky Castle Ruins is basically like when my campaign game started. There was a NPC who literally killed the 3.5 D&D god Nerul and took his power. And because he did that, there is the way he did that is he actually took the ley lines and caused a lot of this. So now, where's the all features? There's the all features. We don't want that. Maybe we want, I don't know what we want. There we go. So he took the god's power, he took the ley lines to do it, and caused, well, he didn't cause it. The ley line was still there, so it was still feeding power, and then the people who defeated him, trapping him away, actually broke the ley line so that they could defeat him. And that's what kind of led to these starting events. And the Sky Castle Tower is one of the mega dungeons within the area. The ley line is currently not working, but I do like that half of it's in water now, that the water's slowly eating, ocean slowly eating away at the landmass. It also kind of puts it as a takes a full day to travel across it. That's pretty wild. But yeah, Sky Castle was literally a floating city in the sky. All right. So let's throw that down there. Sky Castle ruins. All right, so we got quite a bit done. We got Clicksavi, Skari Skirza. We've put in Port Sire, Mistletoe, Boneyard Leyline, the Enchanted Forest, Lake of Songs, the Decayed Forest. We should add in the Decayed Forest too. Lake of Songs, Wastelands of Skirza, Dromejocracy. Let's see if we can the Wizard Tower to control the Wendigo, Roundabout, and Sky Castle Ruins. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for this video. Please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you like this type of video. I've been really hurting to try to get myself on recording, and I thought this was a good way for me to go about it. So let's stop, take one last quick look at my map, and then we're going to return back to the world version. So it's right there, and we're going to zoom in just a little bit. So now you can see like all the things kind of move around a little bit, and we kind of see how the changes on the small scale start to change. That's why I kind of love this program. As you work in the small scale, when you zoom out, it shows you kind of a general idea of what the map looks like. So this is something that you can cut out and print to your players, and it'll give them some idea of what the land is like, but it won't tell all the secrets that there is. Alright, so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more like it, and I'll just keep recording and talking about my homebrew, and maybe you can steal some ideas. Maybe you can get Worldographer and Hexographer to add to your campaign worlds. Alright, thanks, keep rolling, see you guys next time.